got the World Cup in real life kicking off. You got FIFA people getting ready to get on in an hour's time. We've timed this wonderfully. Sell-A-Lot TV from the Barons of Las Vegas. Welcome in to my favorite Nevadian. I don't know how you pronounce that, but there you go. Tonight, though, it is a New York derby. It's the first time that the Giants and the Jets in VFL history have played a Super Bowl against one another. Of course, you got Dirty Dave, who will come in as the favorite tonight. Multiple Super Bowls scattered around his house. This guy is a born and bred winner. He is regarded as the best North American player that's ever played the league based on his success, based on his wins, based on his record. He has the top win percentage in the league, north of 120 wins in Madden 26 when it comes to VFL competition. On the other side, you got NotoriousFUP, a man that hails from Scandinavia, a player that, of course, who over the last 2 years has just gotten gradually and gradually better. People will say that his style of play on the field is that of a more robust and basic and core football experience. He'll like to run the ball and he will like to play for those easy short yards. Tonight, though, he will maybe have to whip out a trick play or two in order to get past Dave's defense. We're going to look into both the teams. Of course, the defense and the secondary is immaculate of the New York Giants. Of course, though, coming into this one tonight, you have to give the historical side of things to Dave. He is the favorite based on that historical side. He's been to a Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl. For FUP, his first Super Bowl this Madden, maybe his first Super Bowl ever, unless I'm forgetting one back in Madden 25 and Madden 24. Regardless, a huge opportunity for him tonight to cement himself as one of the very best in the history of the league. Both came in with a 15-2 record, but today, Dirty Dave is your 6.5 point spread favorites. Let's talk about the underdog first of all. The green side of New York, which has not seen success in real life. Of course, they've won a division in the AFC East 4 times. They're missing their season 14 banner from this season. That'll be added eventually. But FUP comes in with the 20th best pass offense, the 6th best rush offense, the 3rd best pass defense, and the number 1 ranked rush defense. He is a defensive wizard when it comes to these things. Of course, you look at where the 2 losses came from in the regular season. One loss, of course, came against the Cleveland Browns. Another loss came against the New York Giants in Week 17, just before the playoffs in the blistering rain of New York, 31-17. FUP will hope today he can undo that blemish on his record. The depth chart looks like this. You got Nico Ilamaleva, of course, as the quarterback, mobile and speedy. Breece Hall is now a secondary part of this Jets team. It's all about Jamal Charles, 96 speed, 98 acceleration. That's the running back you want to get your downs for you. Rob Gronkowski was robbed, maybe FUP would say, of Rookie of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's a Patriot in real life in our Legends draft that we had, reviving players from the past. He is a New York Jet, and he has been the answer for FUP in so many big games. The wide receiver's not a lot of speed. You got Nico Collins, yes, but he's getting old. This may be his last rodeo. Arian Smith is the main weapon. Tyseer Denmark playing him yesterday. This guy is like a Panzer Shrek tank. This guy can break tackles. He can sponge everything. He may not have the legs, but he's got the strength underneath him. Of course, you look at the offensive line, you got Membu, Fashanu, 2 of the very best in the league. Is Joe Tippmann back, or is he still injured? Who knows? Braxton Jones isn't the worst option either. Defensive line, Dante Corleone, the best D tackle in the league, bar none. Nick Benito, getting older. Will this be his final Super Bowl, his final season? Tyler Barron, Landon Jackson, all decent names. Linebackers, Jalen Walker, gave me nightmares yesterday. First offensive play of my game. First drive, first play of my game on offense yesterday, Jalen Walker forces a fumble and the Jets get extra points at my expense. One hit from this guy, you'll go flying. Protect your running back is the advice tonight to Dave. Kip Lewis is also phenomenal. Nick Bolton, a former Chief, lining up for this one tonight as well. The secondary, one of the best in the NFL. Takario Davis, one of the best corners, and also Koi Perique, one of the best safeties. You've also got OJ Frederick Jr., Mansour Delane behind him. A very stacked team. Some old parts, but definitely good enough to win a Super Bowl tonight. You look at the other side of things, though, the favourite, Dirty Dave, so many Super Bowls to his name. Surprisingly, not had the greatest passing seasons. 21st in rank for passing offense, 8th in rush offense. Defensively, though, just like FUP, number 1 in points conceded, the least points conceded, number 3 in yards, the 3rd least yards conceded, number 2 in pass defense, number 4 in rush offense. Could we be seeing a defensive Super Bowl here tonight on an offensive Madden? That could be something. You look at, first of all, where his losses have came from in the season. Dave, of course, lost 2 regular season games. One was, of course, against Notorious Gabe at the Washington Commanders, and, of course, Pickings in Week 18, 35-21. He avenged that Pickings loss yesterday, though, 41-14 in the NFC Championship game. The depth chart of the Giants, though, looks like this. You got C.J. Carr, Austin Carlisle. It's going to be C.J. Carr, obviously. He has David Farrow, but Eric Dickerson has been the main weapon for the New York Giants. Dick Fitz, a.k.a. Richard Fitz, of course, physical tight end, been with the Giants and been with Dave for the entirety of Madden now. But he's also got someone like maybe Dorian Fleming in the background. I don't think he's injured. He could be. The wide receiver room, though, this is where stuff starts to get exciting. Malik Neighbors, electrifying. He was the Super Bowl hero for Dave 2 seasons ago. He's still in his prime age of 28, prime speed. He's also got a former Las Vegas Raider in London Humphreys, who, of course, helped me get to the playoffs and go deep last season. That is a great 1-2 punch of Neighbors and Humphreys. And for Dave tonight, he will be looking at Josh Downs maybe as another secret weapon, as a slot wide receiver. So much explosiveness in this Giants wide receiver room. You begin to think, where can FUP mark? Because everywhere has got speed and explosiveness. The offensive line, you've got Joe Alt and Andrew Thomas as the main 2. Asad Al-Hannah is also not too bad there at left guard. Defensive line, of course, Abdul Carter, Elvis Belisic, the former Texan, and also Kobe Turner and Casey Hampton. The linebacker room, Deontay Lawson has been explosive for Dave, but Darian Gillette is the guy that a lot of people think could maybe be in for a shout of Super Bowl MVP. A 96 and a 94 linebacker is repulsive to have in the same team. And, of course, the secondary, again, right up there with the New York Jets. You got Tristan Ashford, who has become a household name for the Giants. Drew Phillips is, again, an incredible cornerback, despite only having 90 speed. His awareness is so good. Gordon Hurd, Travion Nichols, Javon Holland, all of these players are game winners, are Venus flytraps, are intercepting machines, realistically, when you think of all things considered. The only maybe concern here for Dave today, having spoke to him and having kind of been in parties when he's been playing games, is that although this O-line looks good, he has not been impressed with his O-line at points this season. Will the key point for FUP and the Jets today be to send as much pressure as possible? Because, of course, he's also had some choice words about C.J. Carr also. With that done and with the breakdown and the analysis all done, we can look at what the AI, what the Neon says here tonight, taking in all the stats, all the results, all the figures. Neon today predicting this Super Bowl XIV in VFL, to be a 33-33 tie. They say this New York derby will go to overtime. That's how tight the margins are. For FUP, this has been what the last 2.5 years have been leading to. Once upon a time, a nothing player, now a Super Bowl contender against probably one of the greatest, if not the greatest American player in the league's history. With that, we can go over to it and we can take a look at our wonderful poster before we go into this one. Just been ready and made here. Look at that. Talk about that from Hugo, our boy. That's going to be, of course, the next the server graphic for the next kind of month and a half for our season. But it's a New York derby, the Jets and the Giants here tonight. What an explosive showdown it's set to be. We can go over to it and go right into the action because kickoff is right under our noses. Best of luck, of course, to both of these two tonight. What a spectacle this should be. The pressure will be on Dave, but he's a robot. He doesn't feel pressure. He's like RoboCop, but of football. Here we go then. There and set for it. Of course, maybe if Dave hasn't got any audio, it's going to be a bit of a bleak watch, so we'll go to FUP instead. We know he's got volume on, so we are there and prepared. Fellas, you can ready up whenever, and we are good to go. Bang on 7 o'clock. Look at that. Don't tell me my timings aren't elite. Here we go, here we go. Now, thank you as well for the sub to Bailey, for Bailey as well, from Bailey as well. So appreciate you there as well. Checking that the volume's good, and then we're going to go right into this one. And, of course, this VOD will be put on YouTube as well, as every Super Bowl usually is. So we'll make sure the commentary team in the background aren't too loud here. As, yep, it's fucking loud, isn't it? There you go. Turn that down. Oh, we're actually in we're in Atlanta for the Super Bowl. I thought it was Pittsburgh. Shows you how much I'm paying attention. All right. Looks good to me. Here we go then. The New York derby. There's no weather conditions tonight. We're in a dome. Will it be another Super Bowl for Dirty Dave, or will it be the first of hopefully many for NotoriousFUP? It is the United States tonight against Denmark. Here we go. Thank you so much as well for the sub. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for supporting the boys. Here we go then. The Jets set to start Super Bowl XIV on offense. Tyseer Denmark already looking to try and break through and away, and a good return onto the 32 as things stand. Now, when we saw FUP play yesterday against the Raiders, my team, it was very simple. We couldn't get the run game going against me. That's a badge of honor I'll wear with pride. 15 carries for 49 yards. Barely could move the ball running, but he played that simple check down football that effectively got him over the line. What are we going to see here to start things off? Nico Alamalava here, the quarterback who is set to hopefully win a Super Bowl tonight, opting to throw. Where's he going to go? Goes straight down there for the immediate curl route, and Micah McFadden makes the tackle. That's what FUP is going to want to do. He's going to want to exploit those small spaces, those small gaps tonight, and try and force Dave into kind of maybe covering the underneath. And then when Dave commits to the underneath, that's when you'll start seeing those bombs over the top. But so far, nothing really out of the ordinary here. Second play of the drive, 2nd and 7. Gronkowski here on the right-hand side, but he's going to hand this one off for a run, and that's going to be Jamal Charles, who again can sponge things brilliantly as well. Only a gain of 1. I can't tell you enough times yesterday how many times I hit Jamal Charles and he would still stay up and break through. I thought he was going to be injured for the Super Bowl. He didn't get 1, but 2 contact injuries in the game against the Raiders yesterday, and he's still here tonight. Maybe he's made out of titanium, is Jamal Charles. 3rd and 6 on the 35, and this is already a position that FUP will not like to be in. 3rd down against Dirty Dave. Here we go. The Jets directing traffic here. 35-yard line. Needs 6 yards. The motion coming. Where's he going to go? FUP looking for that underneath, but goes to triangle instead and finds the deep cross. And there's the first big play of the night for the New York Jets. Dave coming out of cover 1 hole, which is a little bit of a surprise to me. On 3rd and 6, it's a bit of a poor defensive play call for me. You'd think, yeah, maybe cover 1 hole and Tampa 2 on the first 2 downs, but 3rd and 6, you've got to play some sort of deep coverage for me. And FUP now within field goal range, 1st and 10 on the 32. Remember, Neon predicting a 33-33 tie this evening. As the play action here down the right-hand side, looks for square. Oh, my goodness me. And I tell you what, if Dave was just an inch closer at the starting point, that could have been yoinked, picked, and off the 6. It's an incompletion. Dave will take that. 2nd and 10. Play action for the first time tonight. FUP failing. And this is the play that I thought FUP executed brilliantly. If it's the one that I'm thinking, he had insane blocking from this play yesterday against me. It resulted in a 1-play touchdown. So we'll see here if he gets that same level of blocking, if it is that same play. Let's see if he previews it. Yes, it's this exact same play. So let's watch the blocking here. Can the New York Jets find 6, just like they did yesterday? That motion for that right side, that screen going to be thrown, but no throw. Nico Alamalava sacked. 3rd and 22. Cover 1 rubber played its part. That's the brilliance of cover 1. That's the brilliance of man defense. Maybe FUP tried to throw the ball. Maybe he didn't. I don't know, maybe he didn't anticipate that wide option getting open, but that's a huge sack. Pushes him out of field goal range just about. If you're FUP, you just got to get maybe a couple of yards, 1 or 2 yards to make it a credible field goal attempt. This would be a 61-yarder if this one came down to it. FUP, though, saying, I'm aiming for that red line. I want a fresh set of downs. Here we go. FUP looking. Nico Alamalava, the New York Jets left-hand side. And this one, he sponges 1, he spins, but not going to be good. 4th and 5 on the 27. This is what I'm saying, man. FUP's team are like tanks. They can survive hits from anyone, especially my defense. The one thing I prided myself on this season was the heavy hittedness of my defense, and he just sponged through it. Ultimately, it's a field goal. It's the first 3 points of Super Bowl 14. FUP will have to accept that, will have to take that. And for Dave Hills, look at this and say, that's a good start at the office today, a good stop, and only 3 on the board. Now it's time for Dave's offense. And like I said, remember, he's had such complaints about his O-line. He's had such complaints about CJ Carr at points. Dave isn't privy to having a clean game. There will be interceptions thrown today from CJ Carr, and that's where I think FUP is a little bit more ahead of Dave. FUP plays such a safe and pragmatic way. There's very limited risk to throw multiple interceptions. Let's see, though, how this one goes. You can see FUP there adjusting his zonal coverage, setting those hooks and curls and flats and whatnot. But here we go then. Let's see what NotoriousFUP can do on defense. Remember, the #1 ranked rush defense in the entire league. Do the New York Jets have? 1st and 10 on the 35, and that run defense very much alive and kicking. 2nd and 9 on the 36. Only a single yard gained. Of course, as well, Dave, you know, very different time zone to FUP. FUP an hour ahead of us, so it's around about 8 p.m. for him. For Dave, just after 2 p.m. Eastern. He's only been awake for a couple of minutes, only been awake for about half an hour or so. Maybe sleep in his eyes going to cause a little bit of a distraction. Goes down the center, what a find! And it's Dick Fitz, the big tight end, is all the way for a touchdown. FUP looking at the drag route. He was following that drag route for his life. He came out in Tampa 2. He expected Dave to go underneath, to go short. And it's one big dot down the center. 7-3. It takes 2 plays for the New York Giants to get their first touchdown of Super Bowl 14. 7-3, the scoreline. Hell of a play. And there's that trust that he has in Richard Dick Fitz, the ultimate tight end weapon. Of course, as well, Dave expected to win this one tonight. As we said, the highest win percentage in the league. FUP, of course, reaching his first ever Super Bowl, Madden 26. He will be guaranteed a project team because of that going into Madden 27. He's done a great job in turning the Jets into winners, though. You think about the Jets, if you know American football, at the beginning of the 2025 season, back in August of last year, and how absolutely fried this team looked. And now you look at FUP constantly challenging and winning the AFC East, having a 15-2 record. This guy loves a challenge. He loves team building, and clearly it is not a factor that will hinder him as this halfback draw comes off, and again gets a gain of 5. Jamal Charles, again, you see that the first hit gets hit, stays upwards, carries on going, and gets a gain of 5 in the end. And cover 1 Robert Press tonight is looking like Dave's best friend right now. Dave is telling FUP with his defensive play calls here, you're going to have to start going over the top. You're going to have to start going over the top. You're going to have to start looking for something else. Because he is completely soaking up that kind of 5 to 7 yard margin that FUP is throwing into. Motion for the New York Jets. Nico Alamalama looking at triangle. Triangle all the way gone. Triangle all the way gone. Down into the 26. And there's number 88. For the Jets. FUP saying with that play, I've got over the top plays, Dave, don't you worry. Cover 3 sky that time, and that motion dagger Y in. Almost kind of similar, the same kind of route that Dave's tight end kind of ran. FUP's wide receiver runs down the opposite end. 1st and 10 on the 26. Another great monstrous play there from FUP, but this is where Dave starts to turn on a little bit more. Not quite in red zone defense yet, but give it 10 yards and Dave turns into a weapon. Looking here for X, and this one going to be complete. There's Rob Gronkowski, the big tight end, down onto the 6. And again, it's another huge player, another big player that can catch these balls in tight spaces, in double coverage, can survive the tackles and bring the ball down. 1st and goal on the 6. FUP closing on in his first touchdown of Super Bowl 14. 1st and goal on the 6. Does he aim to run this one in? This is where you think Jamal Charles and that kind of pinball-esque feature that he has would be excellent.
Here we go. 45.
Looking to make an audible here is FUP. Is he happy with this? 4 seconds he's going to need to be. He set that out route on the left-hand side. It could be. The out route is good. Touchdown Jets. And the green side of New York have their first 7 of the night. 10-7, the Jets lead. It's those 2 big plays. That's what FUP has to keep looking at here today. In the first possession and now in the second possession, 25, 35-yard gains on 2 plays. That's what he needs to look at. He's going to need to kind of adapt himself a little bit more to Dave tonight. Yesterday against the Raiders, he exploited that underneath space. He worked those kind of 7 to 8 yard kind of routes that kind of got him through and got him over. Tonight, Dave is taking that away from him. FUP's got to be confident with Nico to throw those deep shots, and so far he has been exciting and also accurate. 10-7, the Giants back on the football and back on offense once again. And you got to think only the first quarter. Still got 3 more quarters on top of this one to go. Is 33-33 accurate? We thought maybe a defensive Super Bowl tonight. How silly was I? First and 10 on the 35. CJ Carr looking. The underneath there found. And it's Richard Fitz, who then gets past and gets down. Of course, FUP, they're looking for that dive tackle. Said FUP likes to kind of use the dive tackle when he feels like he's just out of reach. We already know, when you get that dive tackle in the correct kind of angle, the correct kind of direction, it can magnetize towards the offensive player. Ultimately there, did not work, and Dave gets a fresh set of downs, gain of 11 ultimately from that last play. CJ Carr handing this one off to Eric Dickerson, gain of 2. That run defense once again coming up brilliant. Cover 4 quarters. You'd think out of 4-3, I think it was there, just working a charm. Dave tonight cannot run this football. That's what I've learned so far. To be fair, neither of them can. The yards that Jamal Charles has gained has not been, excessive or over the top. They've all been kind of short gains of 4 yards, 5 yards. You have to take those here this evening. 2nd and 8 on the 47. I think FUP doesn't realise he's still got those zonal adjustments on. Left-hand side was open, but the right-hand side in the end thrown. And it's going to be an injury to a New York Jet. 3rd and 8, though, a very, very difficult position here for Dave because he needs 8 yards. If this is short, he will punt. Have no mistake about it. He's not going to risk everything here just yet. First quarter down, second quarter to come. As now it is FUP using Dave's own weapon against him. The cover 1 hole. Very much there. 3rd and 8 on the 47. FUP and Dave, 2 contenders out of the 32 league GMs that still are very much locked in and eager to win a Lombardi. Doesn't matter the time of the year, June or not. They want to add one to their resume. 3rd and 8 on the 47. Play action here. Looking, left-hand side is good, and he's not going to be over. 4th and 1. Now, what does Dave do here? It wouldn't be a coach's decision. He's not in field goal range. Is he comfortable enough to go for this, or will he punt to try and pin FUP backwards? I think at the 45, I think he's going to go for this. I think this makes sense. I think for a maverick like Dave, a guy with such Super Bowl quality, he has to go for this, and he is indeed going to go for this. Now, FUP, of course, on 4th and short, likes to either go with a kind of a blitz or a Tampa 2. It seems like we're getting one of those two here. No spoilers, of course. 4th and 1 on the 45. Can CJ Carr get over the line? The first big moment of this Super Bowl matchup here this evening. Looking. The zig covered everything there. Left-hand side, though. What vision from Dirty Dave. Again, FUP doing an excellent job. He covered that zig route on that right-hand side. He didn't think Dave was going to throw into that pocket of space in the cover 2 invert, but he does. And that's the difference. That's why Dave is a multi-time Super Bowl winner. And that's why I'm sitting in this chair. Because when I was playing FUP yesterday, same kind of identical position, I'm throwing the zig. And it's incomplete, and the board changes over. Brilliant defense, but not brilliant enough from FUP. Right-hand side, what a spot. The offense from Dirty Dave tonight is just on fire. Richard Fitz again. That deep cross down the right-hand side. And the Giants tight end is looking phenomenal. We could be talking about a tight end battle for the ages in the Super Bowl tonight. Richard Dick Fitz against Rob Gronkowski. One for the ages. Unbelievable. 1st and goal on the 1. Dave looking to put himself back 4 points ahead. FUP hit, getting ready, and this run is not going to be good. That run defense again showing its ugly head. Good red zone defense, of course, from FUP as well. I think he's probably got one of the highest metrics in that area of the field. So speaking to FUP last season, he felt like he was, he was robbed of an opportunity of making this. He definitely felt like he could have made a Super Bowl last season. He's here this season. He's just conceded, though, 14-10. But that's the thing you get from talking to FUP. This guy has learned so much over the past kind of 2 years playing. He's involved in various different leagues. We saw him about 3 to 4 weeks ago in a different league that I don't know what it is, but he was playing on Twitch about 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago in another league, and he was playing another Super Bowl there, and he won that league's Super Bowl. This guy is constantly kind of trying to improve and constantly playing to become the best that he can possibly be. That's exactly why he's 15-2 and why he's here against Dave tonight. 4 points down, though. He now has to find an answer. Keep in mind, Dave is going to get the ball back at the start of the second half. This is a good kickoff return, though, and it could be all the way for 7. Reed looking, and it's a huge gain onto the 26-yard line. A nightmare from Dirty Dave, who instantly puts FUP in field goal range. 1st and 10 on the 26. Jamal Charles. Maybe. Audible potentially coming. The answer's no. There's Gillette, and look at this, a spin. If he didn't spin, I think he was gone. Jamal Charles only for 3 rushes and 12 yards today. If he didn't hit that spin move, I think he's maybe not getting a touchdown, but he's getting at least about a gain of 10 or 15 yards there. 2nd and 3 on the 19. If you're FUP, I think you want to score as quickly as possible. Try and get the ball back once more after the 2-minute warning. 2nd and 3 on the 19. As Nico once again getting ready to go. Toss play around that right-hand side. Looking all the way. The New York Jets touchdown. Jamal Charles has his score. It is quick. It is vibrant. It is Jamal Charles. It is New York Jets football. 17-14 to the Scandinavian NotoriousFUP. As quick as Dave scores, FUP says, I can do it even faster. Here we go then. Of course, as well, FUP would also represent a brand new Super Bowl winner. Super Bowl winners this Madden since the back end of August last year. Kyle MCC, Dave, Noof, Pickings, Hughes. This would be yet again another Super Bowl winner that is new. Dave is the only player that has won multiple Super Bowls this Madden in the franchise league. 1st and 10 on the 35. Dave here with a lot of time and not a lot of pressure on him, but there's pressure, and CJ Carr is sacked for a loss of 8. That's more like it from the New York Jets defense. Puts him down on the 27. And Dave here now very much needs a couple of big plays. If FUP can get this ball back and add another 7 on, make this one 24-14 before the half, he's in a fantastic position. Let's see what Dave can do here though. 2nd and 18, it's not impossible, but you need some good yardage here. 27-yard line. CJ Carr on the ball for the Giants. Audible's coming left and right. Where's he going to go? Look at that. Right through the center and gets it to 3rd and 10. It's manageable. It's not horrendous from Dave. He can get a 10-yard play off. One thing that you definitely got to look for, of course, in FUP's defense as well is this incredible switch stick that he has. Very much able to flick between players willy-nilly. 3rd and 10 on the 35, and you can see from the safeties being so low down, a blitz is coming here. Pressure heading towards Dave. Can he find anything? The answer is no. 4th and 9, and this is punt territory. The mid-blitz, as we said, on 4th down, FUP will either go with a mid-blitz or a cover 2. He chose the cover 2, the first time. He chose the mid-blitz that time, and for the first time tonight, the multi-time Super Bowl winner is punting. FUP now in an incredible position to add some points here and create a bit of separation going into the second half. Not many people cause Dave to punt. 1st and 10 on the 28-yard line.
New York to the line. 1st and 10.
If FUP gets 7 here, it starts to get a little bit spooky for Dave. It does. Play action, looking. Goes to that right side, and that's going to be caught by Gronkowski down on the 50. Smack bang in the middle of the field. And you'd think here FUP's going to allow this one to go to the 2-minute warning. And will then look to try and put himself in range for a touchdown. He only needs about 10 yards or so to be in range for a field goal. First and 10 on the 50.
One time for the Gringos.
Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in. Interesting for FUP to go so aggressive with these 4 verts types plays already. Goes down that left-hand side. FUP could be good. Oh, it's incomplete. He was testing. He was testing that kind of cornerback there. Ultimately, it's a fist that punches the ball up and away from the New York Jets. And thankfully enough for Dave, that's enough. 2nd and 10 on the 50, clock stops. It's one thing that FUP does not want to start having the clock stop so early. It does give Dave an opportunity again, doesn't it? Nico looking. Right side. There's that kind of 7-yard type drag play that he did so often yesterday. Just safe, simple football. Gets him down onto the 31, 1st and 10.
Some of these quarterbacks, Kate, I swear, it's just instinctive. Like a great running back, they just know.
And now the clock starts to tick, and that's exactly what FUP will want to see. He wants to see Dave have as little chance as possible, if he does concede a touchdown, to have an opportunity to bring any points back into this. 1st and 10, 31-yard line. Look in here, left-hand side, the run's good, and it's all the way for 7. Jamal Charles down onto the 6. That's unfortunate. I thought Jamal Charles has gone there, but Dave, they're using his first timeout. So Dave, maybe with that timeout, expecting to maybe concede a touchdown. 1st and goal on the 6.
They'll break the huddle and come up on 1st and goal.
Can Dave slow things down here? Right-hand side, the peel. It's good defense. Drops him. 2nd and goal on the 3. 1 timeout remaining here for Dave, as the Jets continue to edge ever so closer.
That run now has put them in such a great spot, Kate. You get a run like that inside the 1st and goal situations, there's a whole lot of confidence when you break the huddle.
What does FUP have? Again, you see so many people back in the early portions of Madden go for an RPO at this point. Will Dave expect a run, or will he expect something more sinister? Look in this left-hand side. Oh, it's a great find, and it's a touchdown. The RPO works a charm. 23-14. Ultimately, Dave has done the right thing here in using his timeouts. He knows he gets the ball back. He's 10 points behind. Dave knows in his mind he has to walk away here with at least, at bare minimum, 3 points. Make this one 24-17, go into the 2nd half, score the first touchdown. It's 24-24 before you know it. Dave will not be too filled with fear or suspense just yet. Here we go then. On to the 35 potentially. Nope, just shy of it, 28-yard line. For the way that Dave's blocking was looking there, maybe he could have got a little bit further, but not to be, not to be. 1st and 10 on the 28 now. If FUP can get a pick, can get a stop, can get anything here that gives him the ball back, he will be loving life. 1st and 10, 28-yard line. Looking, CJ Carr scanning the field. Looking, right side, and that there is open, and it's down. London Humphreys, the former Raider, my son, my child, on the 40. He's in field goal range. Dave here saying, I don't want 3, I want 7, 4 eyes. 50 seconds and counting. He's only got 1 timeout. He wants to preserve that, use that for when it's maybe required. Looking again. CJ Carr gonna have to just throw this one away. It's a good call. Good defense there from FUP. Everything was covered up from that Tampa 2. Was he maybe looking for that deep in on the right-hand side, that red route there at the top right of your screen? I don't know. However, clock stops. 2nd and 10. 40-yard line.
From the 40, here comes
FUP
2nd and 10.
Coming out here in what looks to be a cover 4. There's Carr looking, scanning. Carr left-hand side, that corner, but it's going to be poor from CJ Carr. The route was open, but ultimately nothing there. And Dave's got to be careful here. He may well have to throw this ball back or kick this ball back to FUP, who has still got 3 timeouts. He's got to try and get some yardage here. He's still in field goal range. A sack would take him out of field goal range.
No connection on
Does he play for short yards, or does he go for the first down and play a little bit more risky? 3rd and 10 on the 40. Looking. Carr scanning. Where's he going to go? It's a pick from the Jets. And for Dave, it's a nightmare. 3 was the target, 0 is the reality. 30 seconds on the 30-yard line with 3 timeouts. If FUP can find a couple of monster plays here, he will go 13 points minimum up against Dirty Dave in this Super Bowl. People that said it was an easy victory, it was a Dave win. Simple, simple, simple. They've slept on the Great Dane here tonight. FUP enjoying his Super Bowl tonight, let me tell you. Nico looking again, right side. Jamal Charles out there on the 37 and gets out of bounds. Dave has to absolutely make sure here now that no points get added. 3 is not the worst, but it's still not ideal. And Dave will have to be perfect in that second half, let me tell you. He will.
2nd and 3 now.
2nd and 3 on the 37. Nico. Left-hand side for X. Dave clicking on, but he's not in vicinity, and ultimately the hit from the back of the route there pops the ball out. 3rd and 3. And you would think here now, FUP, what he's doing here is exactly what I would do, considering, you know, you've got timeouts in your arsenal as well. 3rd and 3 on the 37. Jamal Charles, over to you. And that's going to be a first down, and then some. FUP here, nearly away. He gets down onto the 43. 15 seconds remaining of this first half. Does FUP feel like that's enough time for him to go and get a touchdown? You wonder. Excuse me. Tacos for dinner. Moist. 60-yard field goal if everything goes terribly wrong, which is makeable. Every yard FUP gains will feel like it's closure and security. Here we go. More motion here. FUP loving a motion play. Watch this maybe potentially short cross here running towards the left-hand side. R1 instead. That one there swatted down and away. Stops the clock though. That's big from New York Giant there. 2nd and 10 on the 43. Lost 3 seconds there though, did FUP. He was chewing up the band for, I think, that streak. But no dice.
After the incompletion, they come up on 2nd and 10.
Well, let's see what he's got here. I like this kind of inbuilt return route. He's added a stem as well to that left-hand side. Is he looking for square? No, R1, that's, oh my goodness me, nearly a pick. Nearly. I think even FUP can't believe it, and he's going to use a timeout here. He's on the 19 now. He knows he needs just one play, and the touchdown's going to be there. If FUP goes in to the second half with a 31-14 lead against Dave, that is 17 points. That is a really, really big mountain for Dave to come back from. We've seen bigger, of course. You go back to a few seasons ago, a year or so ago, and we saw a 28 point? It wasn't 28. 21 or 28 point lead get squandered.
Coming to the line for another 1st and 10.
But Dave got to get himself in the game here. Defense is absolutely pivotal. 3 points is fine. 7 points is a death sentence. A run here to the left-hand side. Knocks and drops him. And that will be the last timeout taken. No, it's the last timeout taken by the Giants. You have to wonder why maybe Dave has done that. Because now you'd think FUP is going to... And how many, is he going to have enough time to get a couple more yards? No, he's going to play it safe and take the field goal as you should. So a 13-point game coming here. The New York Jets have something to defend, but the New York Giants and Dave will start with this football. When you think 27-21, if Dave scores a touchdown, we're right back into a game, right back into a conversation. But Dave will have to be close to perfect as perfect can be in that second half. Giants and Malik Neighbors set to return. Looking here, could he find a breakthrough? The answer is no. Half-time here is Super Bowl 14, and the Jets, the underdogs tonight, lead by 13 points. Alfie Edgeworth and the Jags called this conference a comedy. There's no laughing tonight on the NFC side of things.
Final halftime adjustments of the
It's
season
the kickoff.
are out of the way. It's time to put 'em into
Right down the
action
center. Here we go.
Quarter three of the Super Bowl is underway.
35-yard line is where we
Just a few
start.
moments longer for an exciting start to this second half. We've got a touchback.
FUP will know a pick, a punt, and this Super Bowl may be his. Because I tell you this much now for free. If FUP gets the ball back and it's still 27-14, FUP will play every possession for 3 points. FUP is one of those players that is a master of running down the clock. He will go 5 yards at a time and leave you with no opportunity to come back into the game. And I think that's what he's going to start doing if Dave can't convert for any points here. It's a poor run, only 2 yards. He looked unsure whether to go left or right. That cover 4 quarters again coming out in brilliant usage. It stopped Dave's run consistently here tonight.
Schedule. Now second down becomes critical because nobody wants a 3 and out.
2nd and 8 on the 37.
Need a better result than that last run. It's 2nd and 8.
Cover 2 man here out and about for Dirty Dave. Looking once again. Left-hand side, he's covered that one brilliantly. Goes underneath instead and gets another 3 yards. FUP did brilliantly there. Just switch sticking on to that deep cross to the left-hand side that Dave set there. Put 2 people on it. Dave panicked a little bit. Had to throw that underneath route. 5 yards needed. If Dave doesn't get 5 yards here, this could be all she wrote. 3rd and 5 on the 40.
Jets in the nickel. 3rd down.
Dave calling an audible. FUP's audible his defense as well. This is a huge 3rd down play. Dave looking and Dave collecting. That's a dangerous one as well. There were 2 bodies over there in emerald green. I thought maybe the zig on that right-hand side was looking open. Ultimately, though, Dave converts 1st and 10 of the 48. Never count out this multi-time Super Bowl winner. The most Super Bowls for any North American player ever. The only North American player ever to win a franchise league Super Bowl. A couple have made the final, CJ12, Rolly Football, but they haven't won the Super Bowl. Right side, finds Humphreys, down there for a gain of 4 on the 48.
Every once in a while, it's fine to be conservative on 1st down.
2nd and 6.
Get enough to stay on schedule and get a little something coming out of it too.
FUP here going to just... I think FUP's going to be happy here if he kind of makes Dave take a long while to get the points hit. If this goes into maybe, 2 minutes left or 1 minute left of the 3rd, I'll be quite happy. That one there brought down. Wow. In any other universe, that's a breakup. You have to feel for FUP there a little bit, but it's Richard Fitz, the tight end, that, of course, physical, big in nature, brings it down onto the 22. He'll be feeling a little bit unlucky that that's not a breakup.
So when you get a chunk play, yards like that thrown into double
coverage, 1st and 10, 22-yard line. Hands this one off. Good run here. The first big explosive run of the night. Eric Dickerson, touchdown. The Giants back in with a touching distance of another Lombardi trophy. That was the most explosive, the longest run we've seen here tonight in the Super Bowl. They have been 3 to 5 yards beyond that. 6-point game, and FUP now is snapped right back into concentration mode. He knows if Dave forces a mistake out of him, Dave is going to be leaning forward. Every single point counts for FUP. A touchdown would be dreamful. A field goal is not too bad either, you'd think. Make this a 9-point game, limited time remaining. If FUP can drain the clock, that's what I keep saying, man. If FUP can drain the clock, take this into the 4th quarter, and have a 9-point lead against Dave, it starts to get a little bit difficult. For now, though, we're right on the edge of our seats. This is open season for both of these two. 1st and 10 of the 23. No kickoff return or anything this time for FUP. Hands this one off through the center. Jamal Charles hit with force. Only a gain of 3. And now it's Dave taking a leaf out of the FUP playbook there, going with the cover 4 quarters to stop the run. Smooth there from Dave. Puts FUP on the 26-yard line.
pass run got him 3. Here's 2nd and 7.
Where does FUP go with this one? I love that little inbuilt route there he's got in circle. I don't know what that route's called. The one that's like a little shimmy route, but... And I think that's going to be PI. It's illegal contact from Darian Gillette. Maybe that's the... Maybe that's... Because FUP's very crafty like that. He's like a little magician, isn't he? Maybe he will have that play up his sleeve to generate illegal contact, because there's so much kind of overstack on that right-hand side with that little kind of zigged streak route that he had built in there. Maybe that's the purpose of that play, to get the illegal contact, to get the fresh set of downs. Who knows? But regardless, 1st and 10 for FUP. We're back out here with some motion. Jamal Charles heading onto that right-hand side. Nico. Alama for the Jets. Through the center, and it's going to be good. 1st and 10 on the 48. There's no drops. There's no breakups. These New York Jets, they are strong, man. They are physical. 1st and 10 on the 48. Where does this one go? Looking at circle. Circle. Triangle, though! Oh, it's overthrown. Oh, that was so close for FUP. Oh, my God. I think even FUP will be looking at his sky there, at his ceiling, and saying that should have been a touchdown. That was a great find. But the throw sold him a little bit. Nico, for the first time tonight, causing a little bit of disdain for the New York Jets faithful. 2nd and 10 on the 48. Not in field goal range yet. FUP looked for the long shot there. Didn't happen. 2nd and 10. 48-yard line. Looking here, the RPO left-hand side, and it's a poor reception, if anything. He went a slight bit backwards to number 82. Ultimately gets 3 yards still, but it wasn't the cleanest RPO for FUP, and he'll know that. A gain of 3 is better than a gain of 0. 3rd and 7 now. FUP still not in field goal range. He needs 7 yards, or he will be in punting territory, you'd think. Can Dave play some efficient defense here and stop FUP on a 3rd down? Got a stemmed curl out there. Shout out to Law Balls at the Philadelphia Eagles. As he's looking here, goes for the stem, and that there's incomplete. That's a great switch there from Dave. You saw him flicking back and from, and ultimately good reactions there from Tristan Ashford. That causes the punt. There was a 13-point swing. It could be about to go the other way. FUP punting the ball back to the New York Giants, and Dirty Dave here. If Dave scores a touchdown, it's a 28-27 game in favor of the Giants. And that one there down onto the 15. It's a long way up the field, though. Here we go. Any points will be good points for Dave. Get ever so closer back towards FUP. If there's a guy that can overcome a 13-point deficit, it was always going to be Dirty Dave. But now it's down to the defense. The thing that has helped FUP over the line so much this season. He's got to have it go perfectly now. A bit of a mighty speed boost there, but ultimately a gain of 6 yards from Eric Dickerson.
That is simply a stay-on-schedule kind of run. Nothing more, nothing less, just right on schedule.
2nd and 4 on the 21.
First down run gets him 6, so now it is 2nd and 4.
Minute and 30 here to go. 203 to 200 passing yards. Identical games from both. Everything's blocked up here. He's going to have to throw this one away. 3rd and 4. Great coverage again. The New York Jets tonight, man, their coverage ridiculously good. 3rd and 4 on the 21. If Dave has to punt this, he may start to question himself. If he can actually get over the line consistently against FUP, the defense has been breathtaking. 3rd and 4, 21-yard line. CJ Carr. 4 measly yards needed for the New York Giants quarterback. Play clock here ticking down. Dave calling the audibles. CJ Carr looking, scanning through the middle all day, every day, and it's going to be a touchdown. No, it's not. Down onto the 33. What a play. And that's where cover 2 comes unstuck. FUP there. Again, just thinking Dave's going to play for 4 yards, but Dave isn't me. Dave's a Maverick. If I'm in that position, I'm doing exactly what FUP expects me to do, and that's why he beat me yesterday. I'd be playing for 4 yards, 5 yards. Dave, balls of steel down the center on the 33, field goal range. CJ Carr again, looking, scanning. Throws that one to the right side, brings that one down and in for a gain of 4. It's been a really, really, really good Super Bowl, I'll be honest. This has been very, very good. And a lot of people, I think, FUP apologies. People said this is going to be a whitewash. It was going to be a bloodbath. It has been absolutely anything but. It has been a real contest between 2 top players. We've often said, you know, FUP struggles to crack into the kind of top 4. The Dave, the Pickings, the Hughes, the Kizzes, although not in the league anymore. He's categorically number 5. No one can argue that. Absolutely improvement beyond recognition. When you think this guy back in his first season, I think a couple of years ago, took over that team that Noof built at the Bears and struggled. Went 3-14 in his first season in the franchise league. Look at him now. Oh, and it's a pick! And the Jets! Oh, it's poor from Dave! And Delane, Mansour Delane, the 10, touchdown! And the Jets have a huge, huge lead once again. That was poor from Dave. He didn't see the lurk of the quarterback. And the New York Jets have it over the line. Mansour Delane. There's Delane now celebrating, enjoying himself. Will he go for 2? I don't think there's a need to, but he will go for it. 1 or 2, it makes no difference to Dave, realistically. If it's 2-point conversion, it's still 2 touchdowns. If it's a 1-point conversion, it still need 2 touchdowns. So, one of those. 2-yard line. As the Jets here look to put 35 points on the board. Nico looking, square, and that one there incomplete. Well, it doesn't change too much. 12-point game, and the pressure's right back on Dirty Dave again. That could be the interception, the pick 6 from Mansour Delane that brings the Super Bowl back to the green side of New York. 7 minutes. FUP has a 12-point lead to hang on to. 35-yard line, off we go. A fumble at this point would be the dagger that the Giants would surely suffer from. 1st and 10, 29-yard line. There's got to be a response from Dave. 3 points, is it enough? I don't think it is anymore. I think he needs 7. With the time that will be left on the clock here, I think he needs 7. And I think he'll feel that as well. Carr looking. No sack, but an incomplete. As his linebacker Wayne is now out with a temporary injury. Carr Lyman. I respect Dave. I think Dave's a great American player, probably the greatest ever American player, but I don't see FUP letting this go now. I think he's going to have a grip on this 12-point lead. I think that pick 6 has just woken FUP right back up to play some stellar defense. I think if Dave scored a touchdown in that last drive, in that last possession, I think Dave would absolutely win this game. I don't think FUP's losing this now. I can't see it. 2nd and 10 of the 29. Big plays from a big player at a big moment. CJ Carr. Cover 2 man working, and that's incomplete. 3rd and 10. This could be it now. The Jets just need 1 stop.
This game, Kate, at this level, you've got to be aggressive. You can't let a previous mistake really affect your next decision.
FUP wanted to join the Wall of Champions, the names that have won a Super Bowl against one of the greatest players to ever do it. It's going to be that much sweeter should he do it. Through the center, that's a great find from Dave. Dave not giving up though. 1st and 10 of the 48. He says, hold on, hold the phone, I'm not dead yet. You'd think if Dave wants to win this football game, he is going to need to score, in my opinion, before the 3-minute mark of this quarter. I think if FUP concedes after the 3-minute mark, I think he can control this game with small plays and cause Dave issues. I do. Looking again, CJ Carr gonna have to throw this one away, and he does. Second attempt, the coverage. I mean, listen, you can talk about Mansour Delane's pick six just a minute ago, but if we're watching this and looking at how well the Jets have played today, the MVP award in the Super Bowl has to go to a defensive player. Jamal Charles has been ineffective, but got those hard yards. Rob Gronkowski's made some big catches, but the defense of the Jets tonight. Second and 10 on the 48 here. CJ Carr, sacked, no, incomplete. Cover 3 Sky, the pressure works. And once again, Dave's in a precarious position. Third and 10.
It takes a player who can close quickly to get to him before it's released. And that sure altered the throw.
Of course, FUP winning as well would be only the second AFC user in Madden 26 to win a Super Bowl. Noof the other with the Colts. Third and 10 on the 48. CJ Carr looking again, right side. And that one is good, over the line. Oh, it's got to be agonizing for FUP. Because in any other game, in any other moment, in any other scenario, he's short. He's 4th in inches. First and 10 though in the end, 41-yard line.
It's not just the receivers or the tight ends that can make plays through the air. When you get running backs that can
First and 10, 41-yard line. He needs plays to start falling for him now, does Dave. The Giants looking. The Giants throwing, that one swatted away. And I think his in route there got stuck on his own offensive lineman. I think that's what he was originally looking for. Ultimately, though, not to be.
Altered that last second attempt to get rid of it.
Second and 10 on the 41.
After the incomplete pass, here comes second and 10.
CJ Carr scanning, throws that one to the right side. Good blocking, great blocking. And ultimately, Dave falls forward. Oh, dude, FUP has got to be going crazy. He's fallen forward. That's just purely animation luck there from Dave's player to get the fresh sitter down. It's first and 10 on the 31. Looking here, scanning left-hand side. It's a great find down into the 18. And Dave now starting to see that maybe time is against him. He hurried up once. He's not going to hurry up again, though. First and 10 on the 18-yard line. Dave is still on track to make this a nervy one for FUP. If FUP gets a pick, this game is over. You are walking a tightrope here as the Giants. Left-hand side zig route works, and he gets out of bounds. Second and 3 on the 12. That's the thing that Dave's going to need to make use of as well. Yesterday, when I was down against FUP, I kind of no-huddled when down by, I think, 17 points, 2 or 3 times in a row. Completely caught FUP off guard multiple times. Helped me gain some yards. He got me back within touching distance of the game. Maybe Dave's got to do the same. Second and 3 on the 12, though. CJ Carr looking. Right-hand side this time, and it's just about brought in. First and goal on the 5. That one would have made Dave's arse cheeks clench, though. The height, the loft of that from CJ Carr is enough to make any man nervous.
I think that's about the X's and the O's. That's a well-drawn-up completion that nets them a
First and goal, 5 yards required. A touchdown would make the rest of this game uncomfortable for the Dane. Hands this one forward. That's a great bit of run defense, though. Just kind of peels with his own user around the O-line and drops him down. We're still on the 5-yard line, though. No danger there. CJ Carr looking again. CJ Carr, and it's a pick. That's Super Bowl 14 over for me. That is game for me. That is a nightmare from Dave. That is a hit and hope for Dave. And that is an interception for the New York Jets. First and 10 on the 2. And it would now surprise everyone if FUP threw this one away. 3 turnovers tonight for the Giants, 0 for the Jets. And this run here gets him out of safety territory and onto the 8. And this now is exactly where FUP will start to slow the game down and play 5 yards at a time. The aim from FUP will be, Dave can have the ball back. I can punt this to Dave, but I want to leave him with as little time as possible. It has been FUP's defense here tonight, as it has been this season, that is going to get him over the line. And it's a huge, monstrous run here. Jamal Charles down into the 26. 10 rushes, 101 yards tonight, averaging just over 10 yards a carry. Started off slow, but is looking good here.
That will make the coaches happy. He didn't just get the first down, but got a healthy chunk of bonus yards afterwards.
And imagine how you're feeling if you're someone like VFL Kieran, you know, one of the only 2 people that beat FUP this season. Ultimately, I'm a little bit happy as well. I lost to the eventual Super Bowl winner. My record against FUP is decent as well. Yesterday night, the only time in 5 meetings that I've lost to FUP. But I just had a feeling it was going to happen. So you can't knock the development and also the focus that FUP has put into Madden since he took to it a couple of years ago. He truly is one of the great European players. Of course, now, like I said, he joins that list, doesn't he? Kyle MCC, Hughes, Pickens, FUP is now a name when it comes to the Europeans. That will be draped in silver as a Super Bowl winner. 2nd and 8 on the 28. Handed off through the center here. And Jamal Charles knocked and dropped again, and he gets the first down. Dave here calling the timeouts. At this point, desperation is at a critical point. It was the pick 6, and it was that red zone interception that caused Dave to lose this game. If he doesn't throw that pick 6 from the RPO, if he doesn't throw that 2-yard interception at the end zone, he's right back in this one. But ultimately not to be here tonight. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this is a pretty identical score to mine in his game yesterday. I think it actually finished 33-21 yesterday. It was a 12-point game. So it was something like this. 2nd and 6 on the 42. Hands this one down the center. And that one there dropped and downed onto the 48. An injury timeout now as well for the New York Giants. And the big thing that you can say about FUP as well is that he's so focused and so locked in. You know, you see with how he's kind of approaching the game. You see as well with how he's kind of approached it with, you know, the practice leading up to the Super Bowl a month ago, 6 weeks ago, winning another Super Bowl in another league. There's a lot of belief that he could go 2 in a row. There's a lot of belief he could go and win the final Super Bowl of Madden 26. With the level and the way that he's playing, don't sleep on that, because it could seriously happen. And remember, only one person ever in the league's history has successfully defended the Super Bowl. That's arguably the greatest European player of all time in Pickens. Could FUP go and maybe challenge that status quo? 2nd and 9 on the 48. Shoe clock is now legal. And tonight, one of the greatest to ever do it in Dirty Dave is going to have to suffer and watch his New York rivals at the Jets hoist the Lombardi Trophy. It is the first ever New York Jets Super Bowl win in the first ever New York Super Bowl derby. And it will be the first ever Lombardi that FUP brings back to Denmark. The first ever Danish winner. There you go. All part of the VFL quiz trivia night, clearly. So, there you have it. 3rd and 3, 41-yard line. FUP knows 1 first down, and this one is officially over. 4th and 2. And you would think here, FUP will go for the field goal to, again, just really make this one short. I don't think he's even going to do that. I think he's going to punt the ball. So they're going to look to keep Dave pretty much in the corner. So no field goal, but a punt instead. Doesn't even want to give Dave the possibility of getting a quick touchdown and an onside kick recovery. That would be a nightmare. And that's a great punt. Keeps him right there on the 10. Dave's got 1 minute and 28 points to score, recover an onside kick and score again. This would be on par with the New York Knicks last night in the NBA Finals mounting a comeback. This would be one of the craziest moments ever if Dave, with 1 minute and 28 remaining, can come back from 12 points down. I don't believe in it. Great player, but I think it's too much with the defense that we're seeing from the Jets here. Launches that one to the left-hand side, gets out of bounds. 1st and 10 on the 41. Well, let's see if he can find that similar type of play, level of play, once again. Could you imagine if it does happen? If FUP
This is the kind of
maybe in the end should have kicked the field goal. There's a lot of hypotheticals, but first and 10, 41-yard line. Looking again. Left-hand side, right side instead. And that's going to be no pick, but an incompletion. Stops the clock. I think Dave could have seen that left-hand side open up there. He's probably going to get out of bounds if he threw it to the left-hand side receiver as well. Second and 10, 41-yard line.
Kate, I can't tell you how lonely you're feeling this
CJ Carr, left-hand side. Keeps on going here. Down and out onto the 50. Third and 1. And of course, winning the Super Bowl, listen, let alone making a final. Making a final means you get a project team in Madden 27. Winning a Super Bowl, you are in that elite of elite status. And FUP. Now, there's only a handful of teams you could really look at him as maybe kind of getting, as this one is picked and this one is all over. The Lombardi Trophy headed back to New York, headed back to the Jets by way of a Great Dane that operates in the dugout tonight. Game, set, and match. You want to win a Super Bowl, but you want to do it against one of the greatest ever players in league history, and that's what he's done tonight. NotoriousFUP, Super Bowl XIV winner. What a story from when he came into the league those 2 years ago, first season with that team that Newford built at Chicago, going 3-14. No one thought this guy would ever make a playoff, let alone a Super Bowl. And now here he is, down the stretch at the end of Madden 26, Super Bowl winner, and he takes home that $150 trophy. Custom engraved. The New York Jets will forever remain in a special place in FUP's heart. He gets it done tonight with the Minnows, the little brother of New York. The New York Jets win Super Bowl XIV, 33-21. And it was the defense tonight for FUP that you have to say, world class. Defense wins you championships, offense wins you games, and tonight the defense won the New York Jets their first ever VFL Super Bowl. Incredible. Congratulations to FUP. Thoroughly deserved. And no doubts he will be buzzing with that one tonight. A review of the stats here. 14 out of 20 pass completions for Nico. No interceptions. That's what FUP does, man. He makes the game such a grind. He does not make mistakes often. And you have to wonder maybe if Jamal Charles in the end with that stat line is going to get the MVP. I think if anyone was watching that game in real life, they're looking at that and saying a defensive player has to get MVP. Maybe Mansour Delane because of that pick 6 alone. But it probably will end up being Jamal Charles. Usually in Madden, it's always an offensive player, a quarterback, a wide receiver, a running back that ends up getting it. But of course, we'll have to wait and see. For Dave, listen, he's the only player still to win 2 Super Bowls this Madden. He will, again, obviously go for one more in the final season of Madden 26. But for FUP now, the sky's the limit. Can you go and win 2 in a row? Can you go and be the only person next to Pickings out of Europe that has done it? Ultimately, though, the winner's wall has a new name on it. Kyle MCC, Madden 26, Kyle MCC, Hughes, Pickings, Dave, Noof, Dave again, and now NotoriousFUP. Game, set, and match. With that, fellas, of course, a big thank you for taking part in Season 14 if you played. Of course, you've seen the deadlines or the time scales we've got for the upcoming preseason. The draft is going to be on Monday evening, the final draft. Monday evening, and we should be in for the final season, game week 1 of season 15 by next Thursday evening. Our franchise league is set to finish around about the final week of July, so there's a very minimal wait. Once the final league season finishes in completion, there should maybe be only about a 2-week wait between Madden 26 and Madden 27. Still, big thank you to everyone that competed. A big thank you if you watched live or on replay. Again, everybody, whether you're in Franchise League, Fantasy League, we are the place to play Madden, the place to play American football in Europe. Maybe in some people's minds, we're the best league in the world. I like to think we've done a good job doing that. Take care, though. Take it easy. And, of course, we will see you when we see you. I'm back at course for 9:30 p.m. For a sponsored FIFA event on GSG.TV. So I'll see you there. Thank you, Sniper, as well, for the Prime as well. Take care, take it easy, and I'll see you when I see you. Luke the Goat as well. Thank you for the follow. Good night. I'm out.